Hey there, have you ever felt just completely overwhelmed by a situation? That feeling of oppression that feels like it's impossible to shake? Well, today we're breaking down a message from the Ambassador's Daily Banquets devotional for November 16th, 2025, and it tackles this feeling head on. It offers up this really powerful way to find strength, especially when you feel powerless. So let's dive in and see what it's all about.
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get a handle on the problem, that heavy weight of oppression. Then we'll look at the core strategy to fight back, a powerful declaration, and learn how to actually put it into practice. From there, we'll see how this personal practice turns into a clear call to action, and finally, into a huge global mission.
All right, let's start at the very beginning by trying to understand what this oppression really is. The source material doesn't just talk about outside forces. It really hones in on what's happening inside you, on the main feeling that oppression is trying to create.
And the source material, it doesn't mess around. It asks this really crucial question. When oppression comes at you, what is its number one weapon? The devotional argues it's not physical strength or some complicated strategy, but a single, incredibly powerful emotion.
And there's the answer: fear. The devotional says that fear is the enemy's go-to tool. So the real fight, according to this, isn't just against what's happening out there. It's against the intimidation that fear creates in here. Which, of course, brings up the next big question. How in the world do you fight back against fear?
So, if fear is the weapon, what's the shield? Well, the source provides a foundational answer, and it's not some complex defense system. It's actually a simple, powerful declaration, something you're meant to speak, believe, and live out.
And this is it. This is the core weapon against fear, right from Psalm 27. I mean, just look at how it directly answers the questions the fear brings up. Whom shall I fear? Of whom shall I be afraid? It's not a question, it's a bold, defiant statement that shifts your focus away from the threat and onto the source of your strength. Now, the devotional really digs into these two words. Light isn't just about seeing better, it's about God's guidance when you're totally lost in the darkness of your situation. And salvation? Well, that's not just a partial rescue, it's complete deliverance from whatever is threatening you. You can see how those two ideas together are meant to be a complete defense against fear. Okay, so it's one thing to know this declaration, but how do you actually make it real in your life? How do you feel it? This next part is all about moving from just knowing the principle to actually practicing it, to actively connecting with that source of strength. So you can really see the choice here, right? On one side, you've got the enemy's tactic, intimidation through fear. And on the other side, you have what the source calls God's provision, peace, strength, and victory. The key to all of it, according to the devotional, is where you find it, in His presence. It's presented as a very conscious choice you have to make. And this is probably the most important part of the whole thing. The victory it's talking about isn't something you win by just gritting your teeth and trying harder. No, the source says something that sounds almost backward. Victory is found by resting in God's presence, not by striving in your own strength. Okay, we've talked about the big idea. Now let's get practical. How do you actually apply this to your life? The source doesn't just leave this as a nice thought. It gives you a clear, step-by-step call to action to put this into practice. The devotional breaks it down into these 3 simple steps. First, you start with the foundation. Just intentionally spend time in God's presence. From there, you're encouraged to actually say His promises out loud. And the final step is about receiving, just allowing His presence to come in and fill you up, replacing that fear. And to make this super practical, the author, David F. Nwefolu, actually includes a specific prayer right in the devotional. It's basically a tool to help you say what's on your heart, giving you the words to ask for that strength and guidance. And going even a step further, the devotional offers an invitation for anyone who wants to make that foundational commitment to faith. It includes a prayer of salvation and even offers a free ebook called Understanding Born Again to help guide you. But this idea of finding personal strength, it doesn't just stop there with the individual. In this last section, we're going to see how this personal practice explodes into a huge global mission. The organization behind all this has a vision that goes way beyond just daily encouragement. And that vision has a name: Operation 500 Million Souls for Christ. I mean, talk about an ambitious goal, right? This is the driving force behind all their outreach and the calls to action we've been talking about. And to make a goal that huge happen, the source lays out 3 specific ways you can jump in and help. You can be a prayer partner, providing that crucial spiritual support. You can be a volunteer missionary, serving directly, or you can be what they call a kingdom investor, which means providing financial support for the mission.
And you can really see the global scale of this thing when you look at their prayer network. I mean, check this out. It's a highly coordinated schedule with specific prayer times for countries all over the world. The whole idea is to create a non-stop 24-hour chain of prayer, with different parts of the world picking up as others are signing off.
So, how do you keep a global community like that connected? Well, they're all over the digital world. They've built this whole ecosystem using tools like WhatsApp for their prayer groups, Telegram for podcasts, and of course, they're on all the major social media platforms to share updates and connect with everyone.
And that brings us to the final thought from the source. It takes that daily fight against oppression and puts it into this much bigger, ultimate context. The big takeaway here is that winning the battle today is all part of getting ready for a promised future. And that is a pretty powerful thought to end on.
Good day, beloved. Thank you for watching. If this kingdom message has blessed you, please like, comment, and share with someone today. Stay connected with God's servant David Felix Nwefulu by subscribing for more daily kingdom inspirations and turn on your notification button so you do not miss a word that strengthens your faith. God bless you.